The jungle had grown darker and denser with every step Noah took. The towering trees loomed over him like silent sentinels, their moss-covered trunks twisting toward the gray sky. The mist clung to the forest floor, curling around gnarled roots, and the air was thick with the scent of wet earth and unknown flora. After weeks of surviving on scraps from the plain wreckage and small creatures he had learned to catch, Noah had grown more confident, but the unknown still held a sense of danger he could not shake. Noah adjusted the straps of his rugged backpack and peered cautiously through the thick foliage. His eyes had grown sharper, his instincts honed from days of moving silently through the wild. But today, something felt different. The birds were unnaturally silent, the air unnaturally still. Even the faint bioluminescent glow of the jungle's flora seemed dimmer, as though the forest itself was holding its breath. He moved forward, careful to avoid snapping twigs or disturbing the dense ferns at his feet. In the distance, the jungle opened into a wide clearing, the kind that made him pause. There, scattered among patches of mist, were massive stones, ruins, possibly ancient, worn with age and covered in thick vines. Strange carvings adorned their surfaces, twisting shapes and symbols that pulsed faintly with an otherworldly glow. Noah's heart raced. This was a new discovery, one that hinted the planet held more mysteries than he had imagined. As he stepped closer, a faint rustling came from the perimeter of the clearing. Noah froze. His eye scanned the shadows where the undergrowth met the trees. A creature, unlike anything he had seen before, emerged from the shadows. It was tall and thin, covered in sleek scales that reflected the faint glow of the jungle. Its eyes shone a piercing amber, intelligent and calculating, and it moved with a quiet, deliberate grace. Noah took a careful step back, keeping hidden behind a large fallen tree. He remembered what he had learned in survival school: observe first, act later. The creature sniffed the air, tilting its head slightly, as though it sensed him. Noah's heart pounded. Slowly, he reached into his pack and grabbed a small metal shard from the wreckage, holding it tightly. The creature's gaze shifted away for a moment, and that was enough for Noah to inch closer to the ruins. The carvings on the stones pulsed brighter as he approached, as if reacting to his presence. Suddenly, the ground trembled beneath him. Noah's ears caught a low, vibrating growl coming from deeper within the jungle. The amber-eyed creature stiffened, ears, or whatever it had in place of ears, turning toward the sound. Trees shook, and from the mist, another massive form appeared. This one was far larger, more formidable, a creature whose body seemed to be armored in thick, overlapping plates. Its eyes glowed a deep violet, and faint streaks of bioluminescence ran along its limbs. Noah's breath caught in his throat. He had never imagined seeing such a beast in this world, and yet here it was, stepping silently toward him. He retreated slowly, keeping the smaller amber-eyed creature in sight. Somehow, it seemed they were aware of each other. The jungle seemed to hum with tension, and Noah realized he had stumbled into territory that was as alive as it was dangerous. He needed to find higher ground, someplace safe to observe and plan his next move. Noah spotted a massive tree nearby with thick branches arching high above the ground. Using his survival skills, he carefully scaled the tree, avoiding loose bark and snapping vines. From his new vantage point, he could see the two creatures moving toward each other, their postures cautious but deliberate. The amber-eyed creature approached the larger beast slowly, and to Noah's astonishment, the enormous creature lowered its head slightly, allowing the smaller one to approach. There was a silent communication between them, a kind of understanding Noah could not yet comprehend. As he watched, the ruins in the clearing seemed to shimmer faintly, the carvings glowing more intensely. Noah felt a strange pull, almost magnetic, drawing his attention to a central stone, taller than the rest, with intricate glyphs etched along its surface. He knew he needed to investigate, but the creatures were moving in patterns he had never seen before. One wrong step could provoke them, yet curiosity gnawed at him. Survival demanded caution, but exploration demanded courage. The jungle around him shifted. The mist thickened, curling upward like slow-moving waves, and faint whispers of sound, almost like voices, echoed among the trees. Noah's senses sharpened, and he realized the jungle itself seemed aware of him, reacting to his presence. Every step he had taken in the last few days had been leading him here, to this intersection of wildlife, ruins, and the unknown. He had a choice: continue his careful observation from above, or descend into the clearing and risk a direct encounter with the guardians of this ancient place. After a tense moment of deliberation, Noah climbed down quietly, his metal shard ready. He approached the central stone, heart hammering, and reached out to touch the glyphs. A soft vibration coursed through his fingertips, sending shivers down his spine. The two creatures stopped moving, their heads turned toward him in unison, and for a heartbeat, everything was frozen in suspended tension. The jungle held its breath. Noah knew this was only the beginning. The jungle, the creatures, the ruins, they were all pieces of a puzzle far larger than he could imagine. And somewhere, deep within this forbidden wilderness, lay secrets that would test his courage, intelligence, and resilience to the limit. But Noah had survived so far by trusting his instincts, and he knew he could not turn back now. He had to push forward, uncover the mysteries, and face whatever this alien world had in store for him. And so, with cautious determination, Noah stepped fully into the clearing, prepared to meet the jungle's guardians, and to discover the hidden truths that awaited him. The adventure was far from over, and the mysteries of this world were only beginning to unfold. Noah's heart pounded as he stepped fully into the clearing, the central stone's glyphs pulsating with an almost hypnotic glow. The jungle around him was eerily quiet now, the usual chorus of distant calls and rustling leaves replaced by a tense, expectant stillness. Every instinct screamed at him to remain alert. The two creatures were still watching from the shadows, their glowing eyes fixed on his every move. He took a cautious step closer to the stone, the mist curling around his boots like living fingers. The inscriptions were intricate, spiraling in ways that seemed almost alive. As his fingertips brushed the stone, a faint vibration coursed through him. He stumbled slightly, gripping the stone for balance, and realized that the glowing symbols were reacting to his touch. A sudden crack echoed through the clearing. Noah's head snapped up to see the amber-eyed creature inching closer, its long limbs moving fluidly, predatory but cautious. At the same time, the massive armored beast shifted its enormous body, its glowing violet eyes narrowing as though warning him to be careful. Noah froze, unsure whether his presence was welcome or dangerous. Taking a deep breath, he remembered the survival lessons that had kept him alive so far: observe, analyze, adapt. Slowly, he crouched to study the glyphs. There was a pattern, a rhythm that seemed to match his heartbeat. Each line of the carvings shimmered in sequence, creating a visual melody he could almost sense in the pit of his stomach. This wasn't just decoration, it was a message, or perhaps a map. He crouched lower, examining the base of the stone, and his hand brushed something cold and metallic. He pulled it out carefully, a small, intricately designed key-like device, glowing faintly with the same bioluminescent patterns as the glyphs above. He had no idea how it worked, but intuition told him it was crucial. Something about this key whispered of ancient intelligence and power, something older than the planet itself. Suddenly, a gust of wind swept through the clearing, carrying with it the scent of damp earth and something more, something metallic, almost like ozone. The creatures shifted uneasily. The amber-eyed one let out a low, resonant hum, a sound that vibrated in the air. Noah's eyes widened. That hum wasn't a threat, it was a form of communication, a signal. The massive beast responded with a slow, deliberate movement, lowering its head in what felt like acknowledgement. Noah realized then that these creatures weren't just wild animals, they were guardians. Protectors of the ruins, the glyphs, and perhaps whatever secrets lay hidden within this jungle. He felt a strange mixture of fear and awe, the kind that comes when you realize you are in the presence of something far beyond your comprehension. Curiosity overpowered fear. Noah raised the key-like device and pressed it against a shallow indentation in the central stone. A soft, resonant chime echoed through the clearing, vibrating through the ground and up his arms. The glyphs flared brightly, illuminating the jungle with a surreal, blue-white glow. Mist swirled faster now, forming shapes that almost looked like figures, ancient beings frozen in time. The ground beneath Noah shifted subtly. At first, it was imperceptible, but then the stone itself began to rotate, revealing a narrow, spiraling staircase descending into darkness. The air smelled cooler now, tinged with something metallic and ancient. Noah's pulse raced. He had found a hidden chamber beneath the ruins. A place that had remained untouched for centuries, possibly millennia. He hesitated for a moment, glancing back at the creatures. They were watching, but they made no move to attack. It was as if they were granting him permission, or perhaps testing his courage. Noah swallowed hard, adjusted his backpack, and carefully stepped onto the first stone of the spiral staircase. The faint glow of the glyphs above followed him down, casting intricate shadows along the walls. Every step echoed, bouncing back in strange harmonics, making the chamber feel alive. Halfway down, the staircase widened into a cavernous hall. Crystalline structures jutted from the walls, glowing faintly, casting flickering lights across intricate murals depicting creatures both familiar and alien. Noah's eyes traced the scenes at enormous beasts with scales and feathers, hunting in packs, flying above alien forests, guarding ruins similar to the one he had just discovered. His mind raced. This planet had an ancient civilization, or at least a highly intelligent species, that had lived alongside these creatures. And now, somehow, their secrets were whispering to him. A sudden low growl echoed from the shadows of the cavern. Noah froze. From the darkness, a massive, six-limbed creature emerged, its body glimmering with faint bioluminescent lines, similar to the murals he had seen. Its eyes were intelligent, scanning him as if judging his worth. Noah instinctively raised the key-like device, hoping its strange resonance would communicate something to the Guardian. The creature paused, cocked its head, and a soft hum filled the air, the same resonant sound he had heard earlier from the amber-eyed Guardian outside. The key vibrated in his hands, responding to the creature's hum. Slowly, the Guardian stepped aside, allowing him to move further into the hall. Noah's heart pounded with excitement and terror. This chamber wasn't just a hiding place, it was a gateway. A place where the jungle, the creatures, and the lost civilization intersected. He moved cautiously forward, tracing his fingers along the crystalline walls, marveling at the textures and patterns. The murals seemed almost alive, telling stories of survival, trust, and symbiosis between creatures and the ancient beings who had once walked this planet. Noah realized he had stumbled into a repository of knowledge, a hidden archive that could change everything he knew about this world. As he reached the far end of the hall, he discovered a massive circular door, etched with glyphs that pulsed in rhythmic light. The key-like device in his hand vibrated in response. His heart raced. Whatever lay behind this door would be a revelation, perhaps answers to the mysteries he had been chasing since the plane crash. He took a deep breath, steeling himself for whatever awaited. Noah inserted the device into a central slot. A soft click resonated, followed by a low mechanical hum. The door began to slowly open, revealing a chamber bathed in soft, otherworldly light. Shapes moved in the shadows, and faint whispers echoed through the cavern. Noah stepped forward, every sense alert, knowing that he had crossed a threshold into a part of this alien world no human had ever explored. The adventure, the mysteries, the creatures, all of it was leading him here. And Noah knew one thing with certainty: the secrets of this jungle were far from fully revealed. The true challenge was just beginning. Noah's heart raced as he stepped fully through the massive circular door. The chamber beyond was unlike anything he had seen before. Towering crystalline pillars rose from the ground like jagged stalagmites, their surfaces shimmering with an iridescent glow that illuminated the cavern with surreal colors, blues, purples, and faint golds blending into a mesmerizing haze. The air was thick, warm, and charged, almost vibrating with an unseen energy. Noah's instinct screamed that this place was ancient, powerful, and alive. He carefully advanced, keeping his metal key device ready. Every step echoed through the cavern, the sound bouncing off the walls in strange harmonics. Along the floor, faint glowing lines formed intricate patterns, spiraling and twisting like some ancient map. The walls were adorned with murals depicting scenes of creatures and humans, or something resembling humans, working together in harmony. The illustrations showed massive beasts gliding through forests, smaller intelligent creatures assisting humanoid figures, and structures unlike anything from Earth. Noah felt a chill. This civilization had been far more advanced and in tune with nature than anything he had imagined. A sudden movement caught his eye. Shadows shifted along the far wall, coalescing into shapes. Noah froze, gripping the key tightly. From the darkness emerged another creature, smaller than the six-limbed guardian but far stranger than anything he had encountered. Its body was sleek and elongated, covered in translucent skin that revealed faint bioluminescent veins underneath. Multiple eyes glowed softly across its head, scanning the room with an almost curious intelligence. Noah instinctively stepped back, but the creature made no aggressive move. Instead, it drifted closer, hovering above the ground with a fluid, graceful motion. Noah realized that every creature he had encountered in this jungle seemed intelligent, perhaps even capable of understanding him. He cautiously lowered the key device and extended his hand, hoping to signal peaceful intent. The bioluminescent creature stopped, hovered a moment longer, then dipped its head slightly. Noah's pulse quickened. Somehow, he had gained their trust, or at least, they had allowed him to enter this sacred chamber. His eyes were drawn to the center of the room, where a circular dais rose from the floor. Embedded in the dais was a crystalline orb, radiating pure energy, casting shifting lights across the cavern walls. The murals seemed to shift as well, as though responding to the orb's energy, telling Noah stories in visual flashes, the history of this planet, the rise and fall of its civilizations, the symbiotic bond between creatures and ancient beings. Noah could almost feel the knowledge seeping into him, filling gaps in his understanding of this alien world. Suddenly, a deep resonant hum filled the chamber. The six-limbed guardian he had seen in Part 12 entered silently, moving toward the orb. Its eyes glowed brighter, and Noah realized it was guiding him. The guardian's posture was authoritative, commanding the room without a word. Noah understood he was meant to approach the orb. With hesitant steps, he moved toward the dais, key device in hand. The ground beneath him seemed to pulse, almost in rhythm with his heartbeat. The bioluminescent creature floated beside him, hovering as a silent companion. When Noah reached the orb, the key device vibrated violently, glowing brighter than ever. He placed it into a recessed slot in the base of the orb, and the entire chamber reacted. Energy surged through the room, cascading across the crystalline pillars and reflecting in dazzling patterns. The murals came alive, showing sequences of past events, creatures guiding humans through dense forests, defending them from catastrophic storms, teaching them survival skills, and even communicating through light and sound. Noah's mind reeled with the realization that the creatures were not merely guardians, they were teachers, partners, and sentinels of knowledge. A sudden rumble shook the chamber. The cavern walls vibrated as if the planet itself was alive and responding. Noah instinctively crouched, gripping the edge of the dais. From the shadows, a massive doorway slowly began to open, revealing a hidden chamber beyond. Through the opening, he glimpsed towering structures, bioluminescent forests, and creatures unlike any he had yet encountered, some flying, others slinking through the undergrowth, all coexisting in a strange harmony. Noah felt both awe and apprehension. He was standing at the threshold of the deepest secret of this planet, a place untouched by time. Every instinct he had developed in his survival journey screamed that this was a turning point. What lay beyond could hold the answers he had been searching for since the plane crash, or unimaginable dangers he could not yet comprehend. The smaller bioluminescent creature nudged him gently, almost as if urging him forward. Noah straightened, took a deep breath, and stepped through the doorway. The light from the orb behind him bathed the chamber in soft hues, illuminating the path ahead. Every step revealed more wonders, flora that glowed in rhythmic pulses, fauna that moved with uncanny intelligence, and remnants of structures suggesting a civilization advanced far beyond human comprehension. He stopped suddenly as he noticed movement in the distance, a massive shadow passing between two enormous glowing trees. His breath caught in his throat. Whatever it was alive, and it was enormous. Noah raised the key device, its glow responding instinctively to the presence of the giant creature. The energy in the chamber seemed to hum louder, filling the air with a vibration that resonated deep in his chest. Noah knew one thing for certain: the adventure that had begun with a simple plane crash had now escalated into a quest far beyond survival. He was on the verge of discovering secrets that could redefine life on this alien world, secrets that the jungle, the ruins, and its creatures had been guarding for millennia. But one truth remained: he was not alone. The massive shadow moved closer, revealing glimpses of scales, horns, and glowing patterns across its body. Noah's pulse raced, but he felt no immediate threat, only curiosity, as if the creature wanted him to witness what lay ahead. The jungle had led him here, the guardians had guided him, and now the true heart of the planet awaited. And Noah knew that whatever happened next, there would be no turning back. The mysteries, the creatures, and the glowing ruins had claimed him. His survival, his understanding, and perhaps even his destiny, were now intertwined with this strange, wondrous, and dangerous world. The moment Noah stepped through the colossal stone doorway, he felt as if he had crossed into another world, one far older, deeper, and more mysterious than anything he had encountered so far. The air here was heavier, warmer, almost electric. Bioluminescent vines hung from the ceiling like glowing ropes, swaying gently as if responding to his presence. Strange plants grew along the rocky path, broad leaves glowing with pulsating patterns, stems releasing faint golden mist, and flowers opening and closing in slow natural rhythms. The creature whose shadow he had seen earlier moved again. Noah froze. In the faint shimmering light, he caught the brief outline of something enormous, far larger than the six-limbed guardian that had escorted him. Its silhouette alone was enough to make his breath hitch. The creature's back scraped softly against the rock ceiling, shedding glowing dust into the air. Noah gripped the key device tighter, knowing it might be his only protection. The bioluminescent creature that had accompanied him floated slightly ahead, pulsing rapidly as if urging him onward. Noah swallowed hard and stepped deeper into the chamber. He soon reached a vast open area, an underground valley carved by nature itself. Towering crystalline trees rose from the ground, their branches spreading in fractal patterns, dripping with glowing droplets like liquid stars. Streams of luminous water flowed through rocky channels, producing soft chimes as they moved. The sight was stunning, almost dreamlike, but it also carried a weight of ancient power. Then, the giant creature emerged. Noah's eyes widened as a massive, dinosaur-like beast stepped into full view. Its body was covered in claws that could tear through stone. But what shook Noah the most was its face, a blend of reptilian strength and mammalian intelligence, with eyes glowing like molten amber. Extending from its back were enormous wing-like membranes, transparent but etched with glowing patterns that pulsed like the heartbeat of a colossal living engine. Despite its size, the creature did not attack. It stood still, watching Noah, its breath slow and deep. The key device in Noah's hand reacted immediately, glowing brightly, vibrating with intensity as if detecting the creature's presence. Noah understood. This creature was guarding something. The six-limbed guardian appeared again, stepping gracefully beside the giant creature. The two exchanged a series of harmonious sounds, deep hums, clicks, and pulses of bioluminescent light. Noah realized they were communicating. The jungle was not just alive, it was a network, a society, and every creature played a role. The giant lowered its massive head toward Noah. He instinctively took a step back, but the guardian beside the beast motioned calmly, encouraging him to hold his ground. The giant exhaled, releasing a warm gust of fragrant air filled with glowing particles. Noah shielded his eyes, coughing slightly as the cloud passed over him. Then something unexpected happened. The murals and symbols Noah had seen in the first chamber glowed faintly across the giant's skin. The light pulsed in patterns, words, symbols, stories. The creature was not simply guarding the jungle, it was a living archive. The knowledge of the ancient civilization was embedded within its biology. Noah slowly raised the key device. It hummed louder, responding to the glowing patterns across the giant's body. The creature rumbled softly, lowering itself to the ground as if granting Noah access. Noah hesitated. Should he approach? Would touching the creature activate something? Or unleash something? The bioluminescent creature floated beside Noah, nudging him again. It wanted him to continue. Taking a deep breath, Noah placed his hand, and the key device, against the creature's glowing skin. Instantly, a surge of energy shot through the cavern. Noah gasped as visions flooded his mind. He saw the ancient civilization thriving deep within the jungle, humanoid beings building colossal structures, communicating with creatures using light, sound, and energy. He saw them planting glowing forests, creating harmony between species, and traveling through underground channels of light. Then he saw the destruction. A cataclysm, an enormous storm, like the planet itself rebelling, tearing through the land, flooding ancient temples, burying entire cities beneath layers of rock and crystal. The ancient people vanished, but their creatures remained, evolving, guarding their secrets. The vision ended abruptly, and Noah staggered backward, breathing heavily. The giant creature watched him calmly, as if measuring his reaction. Noah finally understood. This jungle was not just an ecosystem. It was a sanctuary. A tomb. A living library. And he had been chosen, by fate or by the jungle itself, to uncover its secrets. Before he could recover fully, the ground beneath them rumbled. The giant creature rose quickly, its plate armor glowing brighter. The six-limbed guardian tensed, scanning the cavern depths. Something else was coming. From the darker corners of the chamber, a chorus of screeches, rattles, and deep growls echoed, creatures Noah had not encountered yet. Their movements were fast, predatory, and numerous. Shadows swarmed the edges of the valley, their glowing eyes rapidly multiplying. The bioluminescent plants around them dimmed in response, shrinking back like frightened animals. Noah's pulse quickened. The giant creature stepped forward, standing protectively between Noah and the advancing shadows. Its wings flared open, glowing intensely as it unleashed a thunderous roar that shook the cavern walls. Light exploded from its body like shock waves. The hidden predators recoiled, but did not retreat. Noah's heart pounded. This was no ordinary encounter. He had stumbled into a confrontation between ancient guardians and primal creatures that lurked in the deepest parts of the lower realm. He tightened his grip on the key device. One realization struck him like lightning. The jungle wasn't just revealing secrets anymore. It was preparing him for something. Something bigger. Something coming. The night wrapped itself around the jungle like a heavy blanket, damp, thick, and strangely alive. Noah woke with a startled breath, feeling the cool mist settle on his face. The glowing fireflies that had surrounded him earlier were now gone, leaving behind only the faint echo of their shimmering light drifting in the shadows. He slowly sat up. The ground beneath him wasn't just soft moss anymore. It felt warm. Almost like a heartbeat pulsed below his palms. No, this can't be real, he whispered to himself, pulling his knees close. But the jungle answered. A deep, muffled thrum vibrated through the earth, slow, rhythmic, steady. Like something enormous was breathing beneath the soil. Noah's eyes widened. So the legends were true, this jungle isn't just a place. It's alive. A gust of wind swept across the trees, not random or wild, but controlled. Purposeful. The vines on the branches lifted as if acknowledging him, then softly lowered again, whispering like old storytellers sharing secrets. The sky above was barely visible between the overlapping canopies. Moonlight filtered through small cracks, scattering silver patches across Noah's face. Even that light felt strange, as if it was bending itself around the trees, respecting them. Noah stood up cautiously. Okay. Don't panic. But he was panicking. He could feel it, the forest was watching him. Not in a dangerous way. Not yet. But like a guardian evaluating whether he belonged. He remembered the huge creature he had encountered earlier, the Seraphilan, the gentle mix of serpent and falcon that had guided him through the mist. He wished it was still with him. He had never felt so alone. A soft crunch came from behind him. Noah spun around. A pair of glowing yellow eyes peered from behind the massive roots of a tree. The eyes blinked. And then a strange creature stepped into view, its fur short and spotted like a leopard, its legs like a deer, and its tail long and reptilian with a faint trail of smoke drifting from the tip. Whoa, what are you? Noah whispered. The creature tilted its head, sniffing the air. Then, surprisingly, it approached him slowly, steps light as feathers. Its breath was warm when it exhaled, but not unpleasant. More like the warmth of a small bonfire on a winter morning. You're not dangerous, right? The creature blinked twice, almost like a yes. He extended his hand, trembling slightly. The creature leaned forward and pressed its nose gently against his palm. Sparks of blue light danced across its whiskers, tickling his skin. Noah's chest loosened with relief. You're friendly. Suddenly, a sound boomed across the jungle. A deep roar, not aggressive, but powerful enough to shake the leaves off the branches. Noah instantly crouched. The creature beside him stiffened. Another roar echoed, then another, and another, as if multiple giant beings were calling to each other. The warm ground beneath Noah pulsed faster. The forest's heartbeat was rising. Something is waking up. The creature beside him tugged lightly at Noah's sleeve with its teeth and nudged him toward a cluster of giant ferns. You want me to hide? Noah asked. It nudged again. He crawled behind the ferns, watching carefully through the gaps. The creature positioned itself in front of him, almost as if shielding him. The jungle fell silent. Dead silent. Not a leaf rustled. Not an insect buzzed. Not even the wind dared to speak. And then, slowly, the trees started to move. Not sway. Move. Massive trunks twisted, their roots lifting and shifting like giant feet stepping through the soil. Vines slid across each other like muscles shifting beneath skin. Branches rotated with deliberate precision, forming shapes that looked disturbingly similar to faces. Ancient faces. Wise faces. Faces carved into the living bark itself. Noah's heart thudded painfully. Oh my God! One of the tree faces leaned toward him, its hollow wooden eyes glowing softly with amber light. The mouth carved in the trunk slowly parted, and a deep, ancient voice rumbled like distant thunder. The lost child has awakened our roots. Noah froze. The creature at his side bowed its head low, trembling, not from fear but respect. The tree being continued. You walk in shadows not meant for mortals. Yet the forest breathes with you. Noah's voice cracked. I didn't mean to intrude. I'm just trying to find my way back home. The tree's eyes dimmed, then brightened again, as if studying him. Home, it echoed, tasting the word. Behind Noah, the forest ground pulsed again, faster. The jungle listens, the tree voice said. The jungle chooses. And tonight, it has chosen you. Noah swallowed hard. What does that mean? Before the tree being could answer, a sudden scream tore through the darkness, a sharp, furious cry unlike anything Noah had heard so far. It sounded closer, and closer, ripping through the layers of the forest like razor blades. The creature beside him hissed and retreated. The tree being stiffened. Another scream came, longer, louder, full of rage. Noah's breath caught in his throat. What is that? The tree being's glowing eyes narrowed. The Unbound One. A name that instantly chilled Noah's bones. A creature born of broken balance. Neither friend nor foe. A child of this forest, yet no longer part of it. He shivered. So it's hunting. A long pause. And then. It hunts you. Noah's blood ran cold. Why me? I didn't do anything. The tree leaned even closer, voice deepening. Because you carry something with you, something that does not belong in this world. Noah's hand instinctively went to his backpack, and froze. The glowing seed he had collected earlier. The one that had hummed with warmth. The one Saraphalan had nudged toward him. He unzipped the bag slowly. The seed glowed brighter. Almost too bright. The tree's voice rumbled urgently. Hide it. Noah quickly closed the bag, breathing heavily. The roar of the Unbound One echoed again, this time so close that the leaves overhead trembled violently. The tree being's branches lowered, forming a protective arc over Noah. Run, child of the lost path. Run before it finds your scent. Noah grabbed his bag tightly. The creature beside him nudged his leg, signaling him to follow. Noah took a deep breath. Then he ran. Through the mist. Through the glowing roots. Through the breathing heart of the living jungle. Behind him, the roar of the Unbound One shook the forest. The hunt had begun.